Shanita Latrice Cunningham and Erica Mae Butts are currently on trial in South Carolina for charges of child murder. The two women are accused of torturing and fatally assaulting 3-year-old Serenity Richardson while she was in Butts' care at her home in Somerville. Butts, Serenity's godmother, later confessed to repeatedly hitting the child with a belt after she had an accident and urinated on the floor. When Serenity lost consciousness, they allegedly attempted to revive her by holding bleach under her nose and submerging her in an ice bath. Serenity endured over 250 injuries to her body, including a lacerated liver, broken ribs, and a fractured skull. Cunningham and Butts were charged with and later convicted of child abuse leading to murder. During sentencing, Judge Deidre Richardson remarked that no other case had impacted her as profoundly as the images of the young girl's battered body.
The severity of the blow to that child's leg, and to say that you did not recognize what had been done, to ignore what must have been the excruciating sounds that came from that child on a daily basis, is more than disconcerting to this court.
She then sentenced both defendants to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
And as such, the court finds it appropriate that each be sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of life.
At this moment, events took a sudden and dramatic shift. Following the verdict, both defendants collapsed as anguished cries from their family members filled the courtroom. Both women started hyperventilating and had to be restrained before being taken out of the courtroom in a wheelchair. While the chaotic and dramatic courtroom collapse was shocking, what are the repercussions when a murder-for-hire plot goes wrong? This is similar to the case of Tony Farmer, a former top 100 ESPN recruit and NBA prospect, who is currently facing assault charges in Ohio. In April 2012, Farmer was accused of assaulting his ex-girlfriend Andrea Lane at her home in Bedford Heights. CCTV footage captured the entire incident. Initially, Farmer was seen approaching the 18-year-old as she left the building and attempting to grab her bag. Then, without any warning, he exploded into a violent rage.
Mr. Adams called and said there was some rags or something at 501's balcony. It's very disturbing to me. He called the main office. They told him to call here.
Andrea was knocked to the ground by a punch, and the assault continued while she was on the floor. However, the violent assault continued. Further footage shows Andrea attempting to return to her apartment, during which she was attacked once more by Farmer. He tried to restrain Andrea, and when she rebuffed his advances and asked him to leave, Farmer completely lost his temper. As Andrea cowered in the corner, Farmer continued to deliver several powerful kicks to her head before leaving the premises. Farmer was arrested and faced charges of kidnapping, robbery, and assault. He later pleaded guilty to all of these charges. During the sentencing hearing, the victim testified on Farmer's behalf, urging the court to show leniency.
I don't know what was wrong with him that day. I know he was a good person. I hope he still is. I hope he learns from this. He really needs help.
Despite this, Judge Pamela Barker was not swayed.
There's nothing in the sentencing guideline that talks about him being a basketball star and being able to go forward when obviously I think she's been very traumatized by this whole situation.
Judge Barker determined that Farmer showed no remorse, citing the threatening messages he had sent to the victim after the assault.
He certainly threatened her or said that he should have done something more to her, and so that, in addition to what I saw on the tape, was very telling to me, and it was a violation of the no contact order that was put in.
The following incident became a significant moment in internet history. While Judge Barker was delivering the sentence, Farmer abruptly lost consciousness and collapsed.
Of 2 years in prison on that count. As to count 3 of that case, the robbery, which is also a felony of the 2nd degree, the court orders that the defendant shall serve a term of 2 years on that count as well.
As family members grieve in the background, Farmer's response quickly gained traction as a viral meme on social media. Still in shock, Farmer was assisted to his feet while the judge continued with the sentencing.
On the sole count of the indictment in case 564206, the felony of the 3rd degree, the court orders that the defendant shall serve a term of 9 months in prison on that count. All of these terms are going to be served concurrently, which means that the defendant is, in effect, going to spend 3 years.
While Tony Farmer faces a 3-year prison sentence for his actions and violent behavior, what happens when a serial killer continues to confess to his crimes without restraint?
What did you do?
This is similar to the case of Kason Wilkins, who is currently facing assault charges in Ohio.
Comes a playpen for the brainless.
Reports suggest that Wilkins was on trial for multiple offenses, including felony assault, after attempting to murder a man in Dayton. Wilkins chose to represent himself in court.
Mr. Wilkins, do you have any witnesses here present today?
He asked for additional time to prepare his defense, but Judge Mary Catherine Huffman was unsympathetic to the request.
You've had months to research this matter. This is why I suggested to you that you have counsel.
Wilkins' continued efforts to disrupt the court proceedings played a role in this decision.
Do not speak out in court.
He argued that the court was treating him unfairly, even going so far as to claim he was being lynched.
Grandstands.
Your Honor, would you please ask the bailiff and the sheriffs
No, sir.
to just go get a tree and bring it in here?
We are going to take a break.
Just miss the hanging, let the lynching, you know, because this is a lynching. I mean, this is a modern day lynching.
Please put your weapons now.
That's what it is.
You are not to speak, sir.
After a 3-day delay in the trial, Judge Huffman had run out of patience.
Right, Mr. Wilkins, I have repeatedly advised you, sir, that you will lose your right to represent yourself because of your conduct. Do you understand that?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Yes, you do understand.
Wilkins then made one last attempt to cause a scene.
She informed me that she had family in another part of Ohio. She did not provide.
As he questioned the witness, he abruptly appeared to be in distress. Wilkins collapsed, clutching his chest in apparent pain.
We're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. If you'll please step out.
Court medics swiftly concluded that the collapse was staged.
Based on your examination, do you have any concerns?
No concerns at all. We may need some
Judge Huffman remained unperturbed.
connection with a 2004 shooting.
Mr. Wilkins, do you have any witnesses here present today?
Remaining unfazed, Wilkins then feigned unresponsiveness and slumped in his chair.
Should reflect that the defendant is slouching over to the side and acts like he's sleeping.
His breath appears to be quite normal. Doesn't appear to be labored in any way. Is that a fair assessment, sir?
Yes.
It's not labored in any manner.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does he appear to be doing anything to you other than sitting in that chair?
No, Your Honor.
A court deputy used smelling salts to bring him back to consciousness.
Oh, a remarkable change.
Wilkins regained consciousness, but continued to glare at the deputy.
Mr. Wilkins, do you have any questions for this witness, sir?
Judge Huffman reminded him that his ruse had been revealed.
I'll take that as a no, sir. Thank you, sir. You may step down.
She stated that his actions would not result in a mistrial.
You've been checked out by trained deputies who are medics. You've been checked out by a registered nurse as well as an emergency medical technician, all of whom indicate that there is nothing physically wrong with you, nor any reason why you couldn't continue here.
She then presented him with an ultimatum. Despite his attempts to manipulate the court, Wilkins was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to 42 years in prison. As Kason Wilkins confronted a 42-year sentence, regarding Jaleel Smith Riley, who faces murder charges in Ohio.
A third, police say, has already died. As Riley Smith leaves court for jail, he says no.
In 2013, Smith Riley, 23, reportedly shot and killed 22-year-old Portia Brooks and injured her boyfriend, Aaron Martin, during a robbery that went wrong.
Investigators say he and two others stumbled on the victims in November 2013. The shooting baffled police.
In 2013, Smith Riley, 23, is accused of shooting and killing 22-year-old Portia Brooks and injuring her boyfriend, Aaron Martin, during a botched robbery.
You can see the group on this security footage as they near the vehicle.
Smith Riley ordered Aaron to leave the vehicle, and when he found out Aaron had no cash, he shot him in the head, causing permanent brain damage. He then leaned into the vehicle and shot at Portia, who succumbed to her injuries 3 days later. Once the suspects fled, bystanders swiftly contacted 911.
There was a guy outside of the car who looked like he was bleeding from multiple.
There's a lady in it, and she's bleeding.
Smith Riley was arrested and charged with both shootings.
Jaleel Marquise Smith Riley entered court suspected of...
In a bid to evade the death penalty, he pleaded guilty to aggravated murder and attempted murder.
Family of Portia Brooks. Today, Jaleel Smith Riley came into court for what was supposed to be a sentencing.
During his sentencing, the victim's family spoke directly to Smith Riley.
But he killed me mentally, emotionally. He killed my identity as a mother of 3, as a family of...
Portia's sister urged that Smith Riley be denied parole.
He wants parole. Well, I want my sister. Let's trade.
4.
I have to deal with life without Portia, so he should deal with life without parole.
Smith Riley then approached the court and requested a more lenient sentence.
Apology.
I'm sorry. Go back and win. I'm so sorry. This is what I come up with.
His attorney also made some closing statements.
This is somebody that feels genuine remorse. This is somebody that thinks about this every day, and he knows that he can't go back in time and undo what he did.
Despite the sincere pleas, the judge remained firm. That's when the situation took a dramatic turn.
Portia's murder and more time for Aaron's shooting.
As to count 4, the offense of attempted murder.
It's going to take time. It's going to take time.
As the judge announced Smith Riley's sentence, he broke down and collapsed in the courtroom.
The defendant served a term of life without parole. As to count 4, for the offense of attempted murder, violation.
This reaction from a confessed killer was the last in a series of intense moments in this Hamilton County court.
In the end, Smith Riley was sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole.
He sentenced Smith Riley to life without the possibility of parole.
While Smith Riley's reckless actions shattered the lives of a young couple, How does this compare to a high-profile crime committed in broad daylight?